Good morning. Hi.
Hello, good morning.
It's Kim and Andy. We're here to read to you from the Urantia book, okay? And we're reading paper 180, the farewell discourse after the Last Supper. And we're on part 2, the vine and the branches. Do you want to start?
Sure. Then Jesus stood up again and continued teaching his apostles. I am the true vine. I am the vine and you are the branches. And the Father requires of me only that you bear much fruit. The vine is pruned only to increase the fruitfulness of its branches. Each branch coming out of me which bears no fruit, the Father will take away. Every branch which bears fruit, the Father will cleanse that it may bear more fruit. Already you are clean through the word I have spoken, but you must continue to be clean. You must abide in me, and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit except it abides in the vine, so neither can you yield the fruits of loving service except you abide in me. Remember, I am the real vine, and you are the living branches. He who lives in me and I in him will bear much fruit of the Spirit and experience the supreme joy of yielding this spiritual harvest. If you will maintain this living spiritual connection with me, you will bear abundant fruit. If you abide in me and my words live in you, you will be able to commune freely with me, and then can my living spirit so infuse you that you may ask whatever my spirit wills and do all this with your assurance that the Father will grant us our petition. Herein is the Father glorified, that the vine has made many living branches, and that every branch bears much fruit. And when the world sees these fruit-bearing branches, my friends who love one another, even as I have loved them, all men will know that you are truly my disciples.
Wow. Okay. So there you have kind of the idea that that the branches have to bear fruit. Otherwise, the Father's going to take that branch away. If it doesn't bear any fruit, it's useless. So we have to go out and do good works. That's the fruit of the vine.
Right.
Right. Do good works and deliver the message. Because we're all, as disciples of Jesus, we're all branches of his vine. Okay. As the Father has loved me, so have I loved you. Live in my love, even as I live in the Father's love. If you do as I have taught you, you shall abide in my love, even as I have kept the Father's word and evermore abide in his love.
Jews had long taught that the Messiah would be a stem arising out of the vine of David's ancestors, and in commemoration of the olden teaching, a large emblem of the grape and its attached vine decorated the entrance to Herod's temple. The apostles all recalled these things while the Master talked to them this night in the upper chamber.
But great sorrow later attended the misinterpretation of the Master's inferences regarding prayer. There would have been little difficulty about these teachings if his exact words had been remembered and subsequently truthfully recorded. But as the record was made, believers eventually regarded prayer in Jesus' name as a sort of supreme magic, thinking that they would receive from the Father anything they asked for. So if you ask for something in Jesus' name, you're automatically you get what you want, Wow. Okay. That's kind of spooky. That's not how it works. It just means if you pray in his name, then if you live in love, in my love, and then you'll abide in the Father's house. Right? So if you have a good relationship with Jesus, then you'll be with him in the afterlife. I think that's what it means. Okay. For centuries, honest souls have continued to wreck their faith against this stumbling block. How long will it take the world of believers to understand that prayer is not a process of getting your way, but rather a program of taking God's way, an experience of learning how to recognize and execute the Father's will. It is true, it is entirely true that when your will has been truly aligned with His, you can ask anything conceived by that will union, and it will be granted. But that's because it's not your will, it's because it's the Father's will along with yours. But until that point, we're still developing, and things don't come just like that, right? And such a will union is affected by and through Jesus, even as the life of the vine flows into and through the living branches. See, but Jesus was perfected in that way. So, really, anything that He willed, because His will was the same as the Father's will, right?
Right.
Because he was a perfected being. Okay. Okay, you go ahead.
When there exists this living connection between divinity and humanity, if humanity should thoughtlessly and ignorantly pray for selfish ease and vainglorious accomplishments, there could be only one divine answer: more and increased bearing of the fruits of the Spirit on the stems of the living branches. When the branch of the vine is alive, there can be only one answer to all its petitions: increased grape bearing. In fact, the branch exists only for that and can do nothing except fruit bearing, yielding grapes. So does the true believer exist only in the purpose of bearing the fruits of the Spirit, to love man as he himself has been loved by God, that we should love one another even as Jesus has loved us.
Right. Right. So when you're trying to, this is interesting. If humanity should thoughtlessly and ignorantly pray for these things, there's only one answer. Okay. If you want what you want, you have to take on more weight of the Father's work. Right? Okay.
Mhm.
So the more you do the Father's work, the grape bearing, the fruit bearing, then the more you'll get what you want. Okay, so that's the Father's answer to people who pray for what they want. It's like, okay, well, you do more work for me,
Mhm.
and I'll see about that kind of thing. Which is what that's responsible parenting too.
Mhm.
When you think about that, right?
Right.
Right. Kid wants a new PlayStation. Well, okay, that's duly noted, but you have to, carry this for me, do this work, and bring more fruit on your vine, and show your, yeah.
Mhm.
And then we'll see if we feel like if you're, if that's all worth a PlayStation.
Right.
I think that's how it works generally. Yeah. Okay. And when the Father's hand of discipline is laid upon the vine, it is done in love, in order that the branches may bear much fruit. Like pruning. You have to prune the tree,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
And a wise husbandman cuts away only the dead and fruitless branches. Right?
Right.
So if somebody isn't doing the good work, isn't being kind, then you could but as long as you do good things, even if you're not perfect, he's gonna let you live, right?
Right.
Okay, go ahead.
Jesus had great difficulty in leading even his apostles to recognize that prayer is a function of spirit in the spirit-dominated kingdom.
Yeah. Okay.
So love and bear fruit, or you might get pruned.
Well, pruning is actually good for you. It's healthy. It's taking away from you all those things that distract you from what's good for you, right?
Right.
So we're grateful for our pruning. Yeah. But only the branches that are shriveled up and dead will get taken away.
Mhm. Right.
Okay. All right. Thank you
Okay.
so much. It was nice visiting with you again. We'll see you next
Have a
time.
great day.
Bye.
Bye.